Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming. We're here with the Q2 BNB Chain Hackathon on day 3. This is Tom here from the BNB Chain BD team. Just to recap a little bit of day 1 and day 2. On day 1, we had Sarah introduce a few of the projects that are going to be sponsoring some of the tracks in our hackathon, as well as going over some of the BNB Chain ecosystem benefits. So if you're interested in hearing about that, please go back to our day 1 workshop. And then on day 2, we had Jimmy from our tech team dive a little bit deeper into each one of the main BNB Chain, tracks. And just to recap, those tracks are DeFi, Infra, DSOC, Gaming, AI, and DPIN. So if you're particularly interested in diving into any of those tracks, I recommend that you go back and take a look at Jimmy's presentation from day 2. As of today, we're going to have our friends from DoraHacks who are going to go over the hackathon submission process and try to make it all clear for you guys so that hopefully there's the least amount of confusion for you guys to be able to submit your projects. So without further ado, do we have our friends? Here we have Eric from Dora Factory. Eric, welcome.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much. I think I will start with the presenting a little bit about our bounty for the Q2 hackathon, and then I think after like 5 minutes, I'll hand over to Claire, who will be talking about how the platform submission works and how hackers can get the most out of DoraHacks. We were super happy that the BNB Chain Q2 hackathon is starting. Definitely one of the most professionally organized hackathon of this year. And in general, I think it's very beneficial for a large ecosystem like BNB Chain to organize like seasonal hackathons to continuously support the developers and hackathon hackers and teams to build the ecosystem. I think in Q1 we posted another bounty about an IBC channel between a Cosmos chain like DoraVota and the BNB chain. And we did have one team that is currently working on some specific solutions. So for the Q2 hackathon, we will be posting another bounty, which is a little bit different. It's more open-ended. I'll talk about the background, and then I will talk about the requirements for this bounty, and hopefully this will be helpful for the teams potentially working on this bounty. The bounty, as you can see on DoraHacks later, will be an on-chain address analyzer. Right? So especially in the multi-chain and app-chain world or era, this is going to be quite important. So to complete this bounty, we would like to have a team that is working on such a tool that can analyze a given address from a chain. And we would like this team to start with either BNB Chain or DoraVota to build a demo. And there are a lot of things you can do with the with address analytics tool, right? So I'll just give you a few examples, but definitely not limited to these examples. So you can analyze transaction history. You can analyze like the interactions from this address with decentralized applications and smart contracts. So for example, if you are building this tool on BNB chain, like for BNB chain, for a given BNB chain address, you can analyze like how this address is interacting with like different GameFi, SocialFi, or decentralized exchange or other types of applications. If you work it on Dora Volta, for example, you can analyze like the quadratic funding rounds and like IBC transactions. This address engage with applications and other addresses. After that, so we would like to have a address profiling tool. Right? So if we have one address, what type of address it is? Is this address a trader? Is this address the holder? Does this address hold meme coins, NFTs? Does this address participate in governance actively? Right? So there are a lot of things you can do with the profiling, given that you have the basic data I just described. And the use case for such a tool will be very universal, and it could be used in many use cases. I will just give a few examples here. For example, if an application, a smart contract-based application or an app chain, when it is bootstrapping its user base, for example, it's launching, if it's airdropping to its users, like which users are the real users, right? So this is an important problem for most of the new ecosystems or new projects. And currently, we don't have a comprehensive tool, especially in the multi-chain app chain world, to complete this task. For example, in on-chain governance, reputation and credentials will be very important. So if this is like a direct voting system, is this address a CBO address, right? So if we have this tool, CBO detection will be much easier. For example, in Macy voting, which is being built by the Dora Factory team and already integrated with Dora Hacks, we have to assign voice credits to the voters so that, for example, we can use Macy community voting to distribute fundings to open source projects. But like how many voice credits should allocate to each address is a pretty important question. For example, in quadratic funding, when we distribute funding or prize pool to a bunch of open source projects or hackathon winners, and people are voting for these projects, so can we remove CBO votes? Can we remove CBO accounts? So all of these things are like ongoing and state-of-the-art problems for on-chain applications. So having such a address intelligence tool will automatically solve many applications or app chains problem. So this is what this team can be building in the next few weeks. However, we do not restrict like how exactly the team should build, but like today, I would like to provide some ideas, and hopefully it's going to be helpful for the teams to start working on this bounty. Yeah, so some requirements. First, we will have to have this project open source. So we believe this is the general public good for our ecosystem, right? So it could be beneficial to BNB Chain. We will have to have this team start with BNB Chain and Dora Volta, but if you build it for BNB Chain and all of the BNB Chain ecosystem projects can benefit, if you build it for Dora Volta and all of the Cosmos SDK-driven chains can use it. So we believe this is a public good, and then it has to be open source. And secondly, you have to start with BNB Chain or Dora Volta because that's something we are familiar with, and that's a theme of this hackathon, right? So, but later you can expand. And the third requirement is we need a builder with a actual GitHub link. So the source code has to be available to the community, and there has to be a working demo. So that means please do not send a business proposal or a deck that will not automatically qualify for the bounty. So this bounty requires actual building instead of just a deck. That's something I want to emphasize here. Yeah, so lastly, just to conclude, I think this is the tool that's going to be useful to us, and it's going to be useful to the BNB ecosystem projects and many other applications. So after this hackathon, so I say we do have a team worked out, and obviously there's a lot to be built, right? So within like a few weeks, it's not entirely possible to have a super comprehensive tour. Maybe it's an MVP. It's definitely acceptable, but after that, like under various circumstances, we can support these projects to develop further. There are multiple ways that we can support this project. It can be like open source development. It can be, for example, integration with DoraHacks related products, or if there is a team that wants to build this into a more comprehensive and more let's say building it into a product, we could also support it further. But everything will be based on the output or outcome from this hackathon. So we do look forward to have a dedicated team that can work on this idea. Yeah, so hope you enjoy this hackathon and enjoy hacking. Thanks. I think I will hand it over to Claire.
Hey, Eric. Thanks a lot for the breakdown there. That's good details regarding Dora's sponsored track. And if anybody wants to check out further detail, we've written a blog post on the bnbchain.org website where you can get more information. Or you can reach out to us at BNB Chain on Twitter or Telegram, or also directly to the Dora Factory team. And now on to Claire, who's going to give more of a breakdown regarding the technicalities and the process of hackathon submissions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tom. Okay, GM and GN everyone. So I'm Claire from DoraHacks ops team. So as you know, we've been supporting BNB Chain Hackathon as one of the annual sponsors and also the hosting platform. So this session, I'm going to help you work through the whole process of how to submit a perfect build or project to this hackathon, and how to impress the judges as the best you can do. So first of all, you may be directed to this page or directly to this page for BNB Chain Hackathon Q2 here. And before click the button, I know the button is highlighted, but just wait a second before you actually clicking this this button, because you need to first of all read through the details. The details are very important because the key dates and especially the submission requirements are very clearly written on the page. So don't ask about why my submission like didn't get approved by the judges or by BNB Chain team. Just look at the requirements. Maybe you need to do something before, like to add some details when you're submitting your project. The requirements are clear. And apart from that, check out the bounty descriptions at BNB Chain Track Challenge and Sponsor Challenge. So basically, you can choose two types of bounties during this hackathon. One is BNB Chain bounty. Another is any sponsor provided bounty. And sponsor bounties are multi-selectable. So actually, you can select all of these bounties. Theoretically, you can select all of these bounties like Baby Dodge, like TUSD, Dollar Factory all together if you're building as they required. But judges will review the submissions one by one. If your project is not related to their requirements, you will be disapproved. So get ready for that. But bounties are separately judged. So even if you're not qualified for this bounty, like for example TUSD, you may be qualified for the Baby Dodge bounty. But again, read carefully about the details before submitting anything. Okay, so let's say you have read all the details on the page and you're already building some qualified project, but you may be thinking that should I submit my project later, like when I have more details or when I get my descriptions or decks well organized, like polished by ChatGPT or something. But actually, don't worry about that. I think your priority is to submit your project profile first, because there's a deadline for submission. After the deadline, the button is inactivated, which means you cannot click the submit build button anymore. But if you click this button earlier and submit a raw idea of your early stage project, you can still edit it. You can still update the details before judging. So that actually allows you more time to get your project polished and, like, let's say to make your project perfect and more impressive for the judges. Okay, so let's dive into the submission process by clicking this button, Submit Doodle. So here on the page, you will need to choose two type of things. One is your Doodle. If you're very new to DrawHacks, you don't have any project created on this platform before, just go to create a new Doodle, fill in the form here, and then click like agree to terms of use and submit and go back. Don't leave this page if you click this button. Some of the hackers, they just click submit Doodle and back, and they just click quit. Don't do that, because you will be directed to this page again for selecting tracks and bounties. So I'm already a registered user on this platform, and I already have a project created for this hackathon. So I will only need to choose an existing Doodle from the list here. So let's use test submission here. I'm thinking about the tracks. Which track should I apply to? So tracks are basically divided by project categories. So if you're building a DeFi project just select DeFi track. If you're building infra, just select infra. So let me select infra here. And then I can choose multiple bounties at the same time. So remember, you need to read through the bounty details first before you submitting to this hackathon. When you make up your mind that okay, I've decided to apply for those bounties, you can start selecting from this list. For example, I'm going to apply for Dora Factory bounty, TUSD bounty, and Baby Doge bounty. So here you can multi-select from this list. And here, pay attention to the additional information required from the organizer. So these are the information required by BNB Chain team. You need to read very carefully about this part because this can also impact the judging result for your project. Yeah, but this is a test submission, so just allow me to write something randomly. And here you can agree to the agreement, submit builder application. You will see a pop-up for a successful submission, and then it's all good. But what if you want to add more details? As I mentioned, you can update your project profile multiple times before judging starts. So here you can go to your profile, your profile projects, choose the project you just submitted to this hackathon. You can edit this profile directly on this page. So here is how the profile looks like on this website. It's very well organized. Here you can see GitHub, socials, demo, video, text, team information, your vision, and more detailed description of your project. If you want to edit your project profile, just click Edit Builder. It will be synchronized to the Hackathon application, so no worries about a second submission or anything. And here you can change anything in this form. Of course, you can change the URL or you can delete any URL if you don't want to submit this URL to the judges. All good. I'm going to save my changes and it will be updated instantly on the page. And of course, this profile is not only available for this hackathon. So when creating this project profile, you're creating your own digital asset on DoraHacks. So this page is like your, let's say, GitHub profile or Product Hunt profile. So you can actually share this page to anyone you want to show off the project you're building. Here you can see some share options, Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, direct link, and there's a hidden feature here called embedding. So if you want to embed this project as a card or something to display your project profile on any like your blog post page or your personal website, you can just select the visual here, colored or light, with more text or only Boodle. And here you can get the code for embedding the Boodle profile on your website. Super easy. So there's a frequently asked question. So when you create your Boodle, you will see the status of this Boodle should be under review. So this step is set by DoraHacks team to prevent like scam projects or empty projects or anything stupid to be visible on the website. Because as you know, we already have more than 7,000 projects submitted on this website. Some of the submissions are really weird, you know. Some of the users, they will create a builder profile with their selfies, with their life story or something. I mean, life story is good, but not good for Dora Hacks because we are a developer incentive platform. So no thanks. Yeah, so that's the reason why we need to review your builder first. But no worries, if your builder is under review, you can still use it to apply for any hackathon. So let's say I have a submission called unapproved submission. Let's see what happens to BNB Chain hackathon application. So when I click submit builder, I can still select this submission from the existing builder list. So even if your builder submission is under review, that doesn't impact the availability of this builder to apply for any existing hackathon on DrawHacks. Yeah, so, but if you want to go one step further, like if you want to polish not only the builder profile, but also your personal profile, you can also go to profile and see this page. So this page is your personal page, personal profile page on the website. And even more, you can create organizations for your team. Here, when you can see a plus sign here, you can click create organization. And by creating organization, you can add your team members to your organization. And then you can even be a hackathon organizer yourself. But this time we're talking about BNB Chain hackathon. So maybe no more words about the organization. So back to BNB Chain hackathon here. The builders here you can see on the page are approved builders by the hackathon organizer, which means in this case is BNB Chain team. So some hackers will worry about the visibility of their own submissions, like why my submission is not visible on this page because your submission is in the queue for review from the organizer. I think BNB Chain team is doing this daily or bi-daily. So no worries if your project is not visible on the page temporarily because it will be visible sooner or later, unless you submit something very like inappropriate for this hackathon, then maybe your submission will not get approved forever. Yeah, and go back to the hackathon page. We still have some other features provided for hackers. One is of course, the developer toolkit provided by the BNB Chain team. If you're seeking for some resources from BNB Chain, like a faucet, like the guidance for opBNB and Greenfield, just go to this tab called Developer Toolkit. If you want to join BNB Chain community to get your questions answered by BNB Chain team or by DrawHacks, just go to the detail page and scroll down. You will see the Discord Hackathon support group. Just click this group. It will direct you to BNB Chain's Discord server, and there you can find something called community. And under community, you can see Hackathon. Hackathon is where the hackers can communicate and ask questions directly to the organizer. And apart from that, of course, there's a new features provided by DoraHacks. It's called AIGC ideas. So since BNB Chain has provided a lot of details to help hackers understand this hackathon, like what are the deliverables, what are the suggested directions or ideas for building, hackers can go to AIGC ideas to check out the ideas for building generated by GPT-4. Okay, so when BNB Chain update the details from the detail page, the ideas generated by GPT-4 will also get updated here on this page. And you also have a hacker forum here in the discuss tab. But this is a newly released hackathon, so there's no posts visible here, but you can be the first one. Sorry, you can be the first one to post contents here, and BNB Chain team or DorHacks team will answer your questions directly from this forum page. Okay, so I think that'll be all from my end. Hope everyone's enjoying hacking and building on BNB Chain, on ecosystem, on some other sponsor infrastructure. And thanks so much for having us today.
Thank you, Claire. That was very good in detail explanation of the DorHacks platform. So just as a reminder to everyone, as Claire mentioned, there's a dedicated Discord channel for anybody that has questions, and also feel free to leave your questions in the DorHacks forum itself, as Claire was describing. And we're looking very much forward to your submissions, and let's get building.
Yeah, let's get building. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Claire. And goodbye, everyone. Good luck.